Jackson Executive Director, Steve Tucker. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Bart.
Welcome
Let's
back.
shake. Lots. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Crazy month for you so far.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy at work and crazy in the other world. You know?
Yeah.
But
Feeling good?
feeling better. I was sick.
Steve was out for a few
I
days.
was sick. It was the first
Sick?
time I've ever been sick and in the hospital.
In the hospital?
In the hospital. And I had an infection. And they call it sepsis. So it was...
It's a bad one.
It was
can be bad.
Yeah, it can be really bad.
Wow.
And I was really lucky. And I want to say that the Henry Ford Allegiance, they rock. They were unbelievable. From everybody there who took great care of me, and they were very kind. And we should be proud to have a hospital that good in our town. I'm not kidding you. They were relentless in figuring out what it was, because it wasn't easy to figure out. And they figured it out, and hopefully everything is on the right track now. And
You look good.
I feel okay, you know, slower. Long nap yesterday. It was like my first day kind of really back, you know, so I was kind of tired, but luckily
Well, good. And thanks to Henry Ford Allegiance Health for getting you back to...
Henry Ford Allegiance, I'm telling you, they're my heroes, and they do a great job.
Our family's been there a few times this year, and I agree with you. We are blessed to have them here. All right, so Just for Kids movie series.
Oh yeah, we started up. We started with last week. We started this week. We have the Wonder Park, and they start at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. every day. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and remember that's only $1. That's all this week. Next week we have The Kid Who Would Be King, and again that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. We continue to work with the Downtown Endless Summer Series. This morning we had the Food Truck Tuesday, 1st and 3rd.
Wow, it's crazy.
Singer-songwriters. It was very crowded this morning. And
Very crowded.
Troz and I were down there with Katie, and we got that set up and ready to go. The International Music Festival, I don't know if people know this, but on Thursday, we have, on July 11th, we have a band called Hudost, and they're out of Canada and now out of Nashville. On Friday, we have the Don Was Review, and the Don Was Review, that show on Friday is free, totally free to everybody.
Wow.
And Martha Reeves from Martha Reeves and the Vandellas is going to be there, singing with the review. Mitch Ryder, Pee Wee Atkinson, all these famous. The theme is Detroit Rocks. So it's a lot of Motown and a lot of great music that night, and that's free. Doors open at 7. The show is at 8. On Saturday, we have a band, one of the national headlining bands on the planet Earth for reggae, and they're called 47 Soul, and they're out of Great Britain. That's where they're stationed now, and they're great. And then on Sunday, we have the person that they call the Bob Dylan of the Middle East, and his name is Rami Assam. And Rami Assam was an activist in Egypt. He got out of Egypt. We were supposed to get him last year, but how serious this was, he couldn't leave Egypt for fear of being killed.
Wow.
This year, he was part of the protests against Mubarak in Egypt, and he's a great story. There's a great 60-minute piece on Rami Assam, and he's coming to the Michigan Theater of Jackson.
Amazing.
And that's tickets are cheap, $9 for any of those shows. You can get all festival tickets for, I think it's $18 for the whole Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Unheard
Friday
of.
is free. Friday with Don Was is free. And Don Was is a 5-time Grammy Award winner.
I saw him last year here at the Michigan Theater. It's unbelievable.
Right.
He brought all his Detroit talent, and it was an unbelievable
And
show.
Don lives in California now, but he's a Detroit native, and he's the president of Blue Note Records. So he'll bring in a loaded up group of people.
Yeah, he produced a lot of big names. The
Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones.
Beatles.
Loggins and Messina.
Loggins and Messina. Worked on the Beatles stuff. Come on.
Yeah.
Jeez. And any TV show or movie you see them in. What was that movie with Lady Gaga this summer? What was that called?
The Lady Gaga Review.
Lady Gaga and that Brian.
What was the movie?
Star is Born.
Oh.
So in the end there, they've got they're at some awards show, and who's the bass player? Don Was. He was playing bass in that movie. Yeah. Wow. Anytime you go on any of the films, he is the premier bass player and the premier record producer on the planet Earth.
He's right
So
near
in
you.
this little town, Bart, and this is what I want, I'm really trying to express it
Okay.
in as clearly as possible. We're getting world-class stuff for like $9. And we're still taking donations. We did come up a little short this year as far as our money that we raised, which is always a sad thing, but it's a truth. And I would be lying to you if I said it. We do need money, and we'll take anything from a $2 or $1 to $1,000 to $10,000 to get this thing going, so that we can have it at a reasonable price.
And your company could still be a big sponsor, a presenting
Right.
sponsor.
We still need sponsors, especially for the international part of it. That is a major expense, because those people are world class and they're traveling from. And we couldn't do this. We couldn't pull this off if it wasn't for Ishmael Hamed out of the Arab American Museum in Detroit, who by his own kindness of his soul has embraced Jackson and made us part of that partnership. So it's a big deal. Steve Trozen and I and Katie, we're very nervous about it, and very we want to make sure that it's the show's going to go, but we don't want to get hurt too bad financially. So that's where we are, and that's the truth.
All right, last year it was called the Unity Festival. This year it's the
International Music Festival.
International Music Festival.
Right, and it's all part of the summer series. In fact, the 28th of this month, we've got Dragon Deer coming downtown for one of the Friday night national acts. And that last band we had that Steve got was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. They did a great job, put on a great show, and those are all free. Today's event was free. The movies are free. They're free to the people. They cost the Michigan Theater and the Symphony, man hours and production hours and stuff.
Well, keep up the great work.
We're trying, Bart.
Glad you're back up and around.
I'm glad I'm alive. I was scared. I got
Me
scared.
too. I'm glad you're over it and it's behind you.
Yep.
All right, the Endless Summer continues at the Michigan Theater in downtown Jackson. Executive Director of the Michigan Theater, Steve Tucker. That's it. We're all out of time. Thanks to Steve and everyone that's been part of today's show, all our guests, our great crew, and our sponsors. And you, thank you so much. Thank you for watching.